Look, I'm not complaining, but life is kind of weird as a sign painter in winter. I'm going to show it to you. This is what it's like for me. I'm a guy that works out of his van. I don't really have a shop. I have a storage facility, otherwise known as a garage, that isn't even big enough for a car to fit into. You could fit a motorcycle into my garage. The big thing is if I try to store paint in the van, which is kind of a important part of making the work easier, then the paint will freeze and it won't behave very well. It won't last long. And I want to paint signs that last forever. That's what I do. That's always been my aim. So today I'll take you along with me. I was going to walk, but it turns out my lady, she needs my orange cones. We need to use the orange cones for this thing that we're doing with our kids' Cub Scout troop. So today I'll be driving a half a block to my garage and collecting a few things that I need. Also, I'm looking for a can of paint that I haven't used in like 2 years, 2.5 years. It could be really hard to find, and I have secrets in my garage. It's not the prettiest thing. I don't really feel like sharing the full interior of my garage with you. It would be a little bit embarrassing. So I'm going to use some trickery to present it in a cinematic way, and that way it becomes a vlog where something actually happens. A little bit of realism here. They're funny things, the steering wheel locks. I think they're super important, and yet none of my neighbors seem to use them. When I walk around, I don't see... There's only 1 or 2 other steering wheel locks in the neighborhood. I find it really strange. Even my dad, who's a really intelligent and wise guy, busted my chops for using a steering wheel lock on this, what he considers kind of an old jalopy. The thing is, these vehicles are very useful for criminals to steal ATMs. In a place like Baltimore, people will go, they'll steal a van like mine, they'll back it through the front of a store, throw a chain around an ATM and drag it out. That literally happened like a month after I bought this one. It was in the news and there was pictures, and it was the exact same kind of van as mine. I think it was a white van, but that's really not a difference. And we're here. The can of cyan paint that I'm looking for, I really haven't used it in a while. It could be at the bottom of this pile. Pretty sure it's there. Gonna try. I'm gonna give it a real good try. We're making a banner for our kids' Cub Scout troop. Okay, I actually found it a lot faster than I thought. Let's see. Actually, it looks really good. Let's give it a stir. Wow, it's not chunky. This is going to be perfect for the Cub Scout logo. Okay, now I'm also looking for all of the cans of this that I have, this Latitude stuff from Sherwin-Williams, which is what they tend to make me when I need the brightest yellow and orange. Alright, so here's my take so far. I found Goldenrod. Check that out. It's really a great yellow for like Maryland flag designs. I found Zebra's Fitness Place. That is also in Latitude, and that is a much brighter yellow. I have a non-metallic gold, which seems like it's in good shape, and I also have this one, which is really old, but at the time the brightest yellow that I could find that white lettering would show up on top of, from Valspar. They used to use a different set of tints for the Valspar paints, and they were just amazing. They were the best. The graphic designers at Post Typography found that for us on one of their projects. But that's been a couple years. I don't know if Valspar yellows are really the thing anymore. Okay, so it's those, and then my orange cones. Those all have to go in the van and then not be in my way while I do my next couple of things. So that's going to be a little bit of a challenge. Another thing I'm always kind of sure of when I come over here is that I will end up walking back over here at some point today. I've really been looking for a way to integrate these kinds of shots with a mirror so that I have picture-in-picture technology. If I angle the camera right, this could be really cool, right? I could punch in on it. I can do whatever, you get a reaction to what's happening in real life. Could be very important.